Is it truly comedy when a Saturday Night Live skit hits this close to reality?
Okay, I summon all of you here today to address a serious problem, okay? Our military is gay as hell.
That joke got a lot of laughs, but what's not funny is what's coming from the Secretary of War, nor is it meant to be.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses.
5 years ago, no one would have thought that Pete Hegseth would have been on that stage addressing generals as the Secretary of War. But when you look at his background and his whole mystique as a warrior on woke, you understand how he got there, especially when you think of his audience, MAGA. Welcome to Angela Gets Answers. After I saw Pete Hegseth, the secretary on stage in Quantico, addressing those generals, I wanted to know where his thinking came from because of things he said like this.
No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions.
So I started digging into his background, and he had what some would call an all-American childhood. He grew up in a small to medium-sized town, Forest Lake, Minnesota. He grew up in a home apparently rooted in faith and family. His parents were not very political. In fact, I believe his father was a coach. Hegseth, by the time he got into high school, he was a star athlete, played basketball, I believe went to a state championship. He was also a standout student. He got into Princeton. It's at Princeton where we see today's Hegseth, the man we saw on stage in Quantico, kind of take form or develop.
Simply put, if you do not meet the male-level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position.
This is according to Reuters right here. Hegseth led the Princeton Tory, a conservative campus magazine that railed against feminism and even diversity. According to Reuters, the magazine ran pieces calling homosexuality abnormal and immoral, and even argued that sex with an unconscious woman would not necessarily be a clear case of rape. After Hegseth left Princeton, he actually enlisted in the National Guard, and that's when his military career really took off. He enlisted in the Army National Guard. He served in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, Afghanistan, earning a Bronze Star. Those experiences, though, also kind of cemented, along with obviously what he learned in Princeton, his viewpoint that America had gotten weak in some cases and the military needed some tough love.
An entire generation of generals and admirals were told that they must parrot the insane fallacy that, quote, our diversity is our strength. Of course, we know our unity is our strength.
So when you look at Pete Hegseth, especially on stage, you see a lot of bravado, right? But there's some darkness here. There have been a lot of dark allegations against Pete Hegseth. In 2017, a woman accused him of sexual assault after an event in California. Now, he denied this, but apparently he paid $50,000 to settle the claim. Police investigated. Keep in mind, no charges were filed. The craziest thing, though, probably is coming from his own mother, who said this in some sort of email exchange. She called him, "You're an abuser of women. That is the ugly truth," among other things she said in this email. Now, she later apologized for that statement, saying that he was a good father and also a good husband. But it's the war on woke that has really given him some street cred, not only on Fox News, but also in MAGA circles, which kind of opened the door for this later opportunity for him to become the Secretary of Defense, now renamed to the Secretary of War. And once he became the Secretary of Defense, he did some things that MAGA would like. Like he stripped Harvey Milk's name from a Navy ship, one of the few openly gay service members ever honored by the U.S. military. Harvey Milk was the first openly gay elected official in the U.S. He took his name off that ship. From Forest Lake to Fox to standing on that stage in front of generals, the question is, for many people watching him on that stage, is the military fair? And will I enlist to the military after what he just said? Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think that his speech and Trump that followed will actually entice people to want to serve our country? Let me know in the comments. Also, subscribe to Angela Gets Answers. We not only go inside the minds of elected leaders and people who are working in government and politicians, but we also talk to regular Americans about problems happening in their neighborhoods. If you want to hear from the people and not just politicians, subscribe to Angela Gets Answers.